Hello everybody and welcome back to Madden 2005 in the Oakland Raiders franchise mode. Continuing on with year number 4, we are getting pretty firmly into it now. After our best start in franchise history, 8-1, the Raiders have never even flirted with something like that. Well, maybe 8-1, but the 6-0, 7-0 start that we had has not been done by the Raiders before. So we finally grabbed a loss, and it was, of course, a costly loss to the Chargers, of course it was. But we finally bounced back, or we did bounce back, and we're looking to continue the bounce back in Cincinnati and Paul Brown Stadium against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the Bengals are an interesting team here, because just 2 years ago, in year number 1, they were the top seed in the NFL, man. They were 11-5, or not in the NFL, but in the AFC. They were 11-5 and took the top seed in the AFC. And ever since then, it's just been a downward sort of plunge, as they were 8-8 in year number 2, and then last year they were 6-10. So looking around at some of the players, there's not like a lot of noticeable injuries. It looks like Chad Johnson maybe had a bit of an injury in year number 2, I think, but for the most part, there really hasn't been any substantial like injuries that I could see. I mean, Carson Palmer, I think, might have missed a little bit of time. I don't know, but it's been a lot of the same core, and a lot of those skill position players are still really, really good for Cincinnati. So I'm trying to figure out where the missing link is. It could just be defense, like our problem has been, but I guess we'll see that today on full display and see just exactly where this Bengals team is falling short, because they're right now fighting around that 500 bubble once again, and they have a good chance of going 8-8 once again in year number 4. So we will see, but Justin Fargas is already making his name felt here in Paul Brown Stadium as he gets a huge little run play up the middle of the field here, but he does get tracked down from behind. But it's still going to give us a 1st and 10 just outside the red zone of Cincinnati. And now Tim Couch back to pass here and quickly fires one off to Justin Gage along the sideline, and that should be good for another 1st down and continue our drive forward. So 1st and 10 now, just outside the 10, and Couch back to pass once again. Throws it to that same spot on the field to Justin Gage, but this time he's able to cut up field and fall forward into the end zone for the first Raiders touchdown of the day. And that connection between 2 and 87 is something that cannot be broken, as Justin Gage gets touchdown number 9 on the season, and that is touchdown number 28 for Tim Couch. So another MVP caliber season from both of these players. What can you expect? Expect nothing less. So, but Palmer and the boys are already across midfield, so the Bengals looking to answer back pretty early here, and it looks like they might have a chance, as I think that was Peter Warrick who was showboating to the end zone. He's going to fumble it. No! He's going to fumble it, and that one's going to get scooped up by the Raiders defense. I think it was Ed Reed who scooped it up. Ed Reed forced the fumble. Look at that. Yeah, Ed Reed just stripping out Peter Warrick, and that's going to get picked up, actually, I think from Woolfolk, one of our trade acquisitions. I think he actually scooped up the fumble, but Ed Reed stripped it out. So 3rd and 5 now, heading the other way. Tim Couch takes a deep shot downfield. It's Jerry Porter, and the DB overplayed the football, so now there's no one back to get Jerry Porter, and he's off to the races, and he's gone into the end zone. So dead to rights on that drive, deep on our own end. The Bengals had us, and Tim Couch is able to get this one off to Jerry Porter, and just a second too late was that cornerback for the Bengals, as he just completely overran that football. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, look at that. Just completely missed it by about an inch or so. Jerry Porter, good control to keep the feet in bounds and just cut up field, and he was gone for touchdown number 8 on the year for Mr. 84. So we get the fumble here, the strip from Ed Reed, and then we get the huge touchdown because of it. So 14-0 is the score here in Cincinnati. Now we're back on offense once again. Tim Couch here fires one off to Justin Gage's side, but it's not Justin Gage, it's Justin Fargas who's making a catch out of the backfield. Fargas, I think, only has like 100 receiving yards on the year, only like 12 catches or so. He doesn't have any touchdowns, but because we've talked about him as a receiving threat in the past, and he did, I think, have a couple touchdowns last year receiving-wise, but this year it's been a little bit slow. So 1st and 10, once again here across midfield now. Couch rolls to his right here and throws it out to Jerry Porter, who's going to make the catch and get brought down out of bounds inside the 20, and that's going to be good for another Raiders 1st down. So we are moving pretty easily on this Bengals secondary. That might be some of the issues here. And now Justin Fargas getting the call again, and just a burst of speed is going to get him in open space, and he's going to get into the end zone for another touchdown, and that is touchdown number 9 for Justin Fargas. So he's having himself a crazy year. Also has over 500 yards on the season thus far. So he's been really kind of making up for lost time after missing the first couple games of the season. And we're going to take a 21-0 lead over the Bengals in the first quarter, and it's given us flashbacks to the last video that we watched with Green Bay, man. We are starting to really just kind of hammer these teams early. So a long to go, or a long situation for the Bengals, and Palmer's able to hit Peter Warrick across the middle. That's going to make it 2nd and 4 inside the 20 for the Bengals offense. And now Rudy Johnson's going to get the call here, and he's going to get a little bit of open space and get the first down and get inside the 10 of the Raiders, inside the Raiders 10. There we go. And it's going to bring up 1st and goal, but we fast forward to 3rd and goal now, and callers from Palmer are going to try and throw it out. I mean, trying to do something a little bit fancy. I don't know what that was. He tried to get it to Jeremy Johnson, the fullback, and that was going absolutely nowhere. So bring out, I think it's still Shane Graham who kicks for the Bengals. I think. I remember that from when I was a kid. I didn't look it up. I think I just remember that from when I was a kid. But either way, the kick is complete, or the kick is good. And so now it makes it 21-3 here in the second quarter, and we are already across midfield again. Pocket is collapsing, but Tim Couch is able to find Jerry Porter in a complete mess and web of players somehow. No idea how he managed to do that, but we will take a completion wherever we can get it. But it's going to be 3rd and 9 now, just inside the Bengals 20, and Couch looking over his options here and fires one off, I think, to Justin Gage, but that pass was, or actually it was Chris Cole. But Chris Cole was very much blocked and contested, and that pass was not going to get completed. So bring out Janikowski for 3 points of our own, and he nails it through. So now the score is going to go back to 21 points, the lead is, and it's going to be 24-3 over the Bengals here at Paul Brown. So, but Cincinnati will not be silenced here as they're back. Once again, Palmer's got the boys moving, and that pass is going to be completed, and I think it's Peter Warrick once again, or actually, no, it is not Peter Warrick. I'm not entirely sure who it is. It's not Peter Warrick, it's not Chad Johnson, and it is definitely not Kelly Washington either. So whoever is 4th down on the depth chart for the Bengals here, that is who just got that receiving touchdown. So 24-10 now the score, and the Bengals once again back on offense as our offense is starting to stall out late here in the second quarter, and now there's Chad Johnson on the other side of the field getting a nice completion, and the Bengals are going to run the hurry up here as they are now within a minute and a half left to go in the first half, and they're finally across midfield. Palmer back to pass here. Got to get rid of it quickly here, and he does. I think it's back once again to Chad Johnson for another completion, but they're going to mark him just a few inches shy of the line to gain. So on 2nd and inches, Cincinnati still running with the hurry up here. Palmer again, another quick release, and oh my goodness, absolutely clobbered. Gee, I think it was Ezal Reese who just completely laid the shoulder down on Chad Johnson here, but he does make the completion. So at about the 22-yard line of Oakland, Palmer going to take the snap once again, and again he's going to hammer that middle portion of the field for another completion, and they're finally going to call a timeout. So 1st and goal for the Bengals here. Palmer going to throw for it once again, finds it in the back corner of the end zone, and I believe that was Kelly Washington who had it in the very back corner there. A beautiful play, a beautiful location from Palmer. Great pass. And so now Cincinnati back within 1 score now. But we still have time left in the second quarter. Couch, deep shot downfield. And that pass is going to be completed by Jerry Porter. And he tried to juke move out of the way to get out into the open field there, but he couldn't find an opening. But he's going to get brought down. So we're going to call timeout with 39 seconds now, just inside the 25. And Couch going to float one out once again. And I believe that's Chris Cole this time. So Chris Cole does get himself a reception in this game here. He's kind of having a down year because of the addition of Joey Galloway, as I've mentioned before, but first down there. So fast forward to 2nd and goal here, just 20 seconds left to go, and Tim Couch floats one out. I believe it looked like he was thrown over to Justin Fargas, who's running a route in that direction, and yeah, just kind of floats it. Yeah, it's Justin Fargas, man, receiving touchdown. So we were talking about him not having one so far this season, but now he's got one. So there's one receiving touchdown. So 31-17 is the score, but Cincinnati's got time. As Kelly Washington wide open in the middle of the field. I have no idea how he got so open, and I have no idea how he didn't get brought down in the end zone. So with only a couple seconds left on the board here, Cincinnati's going to have to call a timeout and at least just take the 3 points, even though they probably could have got 7 out of it if they really were feeling bold. So 20-31 now the score here at the end of 2 quarters of play. So huge, eventful final 2 minutes in the second quarter, but we have finally made it to the second half, and Cincinnati is moving the football once again with relative ease as Chad Johnson gets another completion across the middle of the field. So 2nd and 10 we're going to cut to for Cincinnati, and Palmer's going to throw for it once again here. We haven't seen a whole lot of Rudy Johnson at all in this game. Cincinnati really just kind of relying on the passing game, which does work. They got a lot of high stats on the receiving core, which I guess is just kind of the balance that they've run here. So, but fast forward to a 3rd and goal, and Palmer, again, not going to hand this one off. He's going to throw for it, and it works out. So we'll trust in them because Peter Warrick is able to get this catch here in the very back corner of the end zone, and we will see the play here. Normally they run out of bounds, but they didn't this time, and that is our new acquisition, kind of playing a little bit safe on Peter Warrick, allowing that touchdown to happen. So hate to see that, but 31-27 is now the score, and Tim Couch takes a deep shot downfield, and it's Justin Gage who's going to haul it in and get brought down just about at the 20. Yeah, it looks like he was brought down at about the 20 or so. So fast forward to a 2nd and 6 now for the Raiders offense, and Couch, a quick release across the middle. It's Jerry Porter who's going to get brought down, and maybe his knee came down about an inch shy, but again, it looks like he was about there in the end zone. So 1st and goal, we'll see who's going to finish this one off. It's going to be a handoff to Fargas, who's going to finish this one off, and it's now his 10th rushing touchdown of the year, and his 11th touchdown overall, and his 3rd touchdown of the game. So Justin Fargas has been a really huge contributor so far in Cincinnati thus far this season, or this week, not this season, this week. So 38-27 is the score here in Cincinnati with another opportunity on offense, and Chad Johnson with a completion, again surrounded by a couple of Raiders there. It was Phil Buchanan and Ezel Reese, but Chad Johnson is inevitable. So fast forward to a 3rd and 16 after moving backwards on a couple plays, and Palmer takes a shot towards the end zone and overshoots his man a little bit. Woolfolk definitely was blanketing Peter Warrick a little bit there, so good defense on that end. So now they're going to have to rely on the special teams unit once again. The kick is up, and it is no good. That kick was pushed wide right, so the lead is going to remain at 11 points. And we have a chance now, late in the 3rd quarter, to pad our lead a little bit. We could maybe add another score on here, get some insurance, and Tim Couch takes a shot downfield, and it's Justin Gage, and the DB falls, and it is completely wide open for Justin Gage to walk into the end zone. I'm surprised he didn't showboat like he did last week when he was like 20 yards shy of the end zone. He had someone right on his tail, and we saw Peter Warrick get stripped in this game trying to do the same exact thing. But Justin Gage manages, oh, look at that, just a desperation move, because you can't cover Justin Gage. You just can't. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL. You just can't. So we take a 45-27 lead over the Bengals here in the 3rd quarter. The 4th quarter is going to see a lot of back and forths, a lot of turnover on downs for the Bengals here, but finally in the final 2 minutes of the game, they finally have worked it inside the 5, but a huge sack coming off the edge, and I believe that was Royer, again, one of our trade deadline acquisitions, who gets inside for the sack, and Cincinnati going to have to run the hurry up as time is ticking away here, and Carson Palmer is able to find Chad Johnson across the middle, who's going to just dive forward and get into the end zone and get the Bengals another touchdown here, and that is Chad Johnson's 7th of the season, as Ocho Cinco is able to make the catch and just, desperation, just get into the end zone, avoid the tackle, and just get in there. So Cincinnati's going to try and go for the 2-point conversion. Rudy Johnson, who's been phenomenal for the Bengals in the sim, been phenomenal for him. He's had over 1,100 yards the last 3 seasons, 15 touchdowns last year, absolutely nowhere. So going absolutely nowhere, and nothing else would happen for the rest of the game, and we are going to hold on to win it by 12 points over the Bengals. So a huge victory once again here. So this game was a little bit weird. I feel like we were never really in danger of losing this game, but maintaining the lead was definitely something that kind of seemed like a bit of an uphill battle for some reason, and it really probably shouldn't have been. I think our defense played pretty well. I mean, as you see, they outgained us in a lot of different ways, so maybe it's not fair to say that the defense did. I mean, the 4th quarter, guys, I'm serious. Like, when I was editing through it, the 4th quarter, the Bengals went up and down the field so many times. You see they had 21 third downs. So our defense was doing absolutely amazing on forcing the third downs, and just like, it just weird. I mean, they were just, on 1st and 2nd down, the Bengals would just gain so many yards and then eventually just stall out. And they did that so many times. We forced 21 third downs. We only converted 1 third down on the other side of the ball, which is not great either. So that's something to look at, something to pay attention to. Oh my gosh, Justin Fargas, man, what a day! What a day for him. Philip Buchanan, Ed Reed, and Napoleon Harris all with just well over double-digit tackles here. So good performance from them here, but an interesting game overall. But we do grab another AFC win, which puts us at 9-1, and now we're going to get our grudge match against the San Diego Chargers, who are 6-4. So the Chargers were mounting a little bit of a comeback in their season, but now it looks like things might be stalling out. So this win could put us ahead of them once and for all. So hope to see you guys in San Diego.